we could potentially go into the after Shahadah part into that, right?
Yeah.
And then
what would you do? What's your process?
Yeah. So I think first of all we have to understand that a lot of people think after Shahadah is support, right? And that was another reason I started using the word coaching, right? Well, it's not about support, right? The major challenge with new Muslims is not that they have financial or social or economical challenges, right? The major challenge, as you said in the beginning, is they're not convinced, right? Or I mean, even if they're convinced, it's an intellectual conviction. It's not in their heart.
It's true,
yeah. So I mean, for example, like how many people are convinced that, look, you know what, this food is not good for me, I need to change my diet. Many people, I myself am convinced that, okay, I need to change my diet, right? Am I doing it? Right. So that's the whole point. Like, how do you take it from that intellectual conviction to a plan, to a follow-up? So one of the things I said, so I said, like, it's a new Muslim dawah. So you have to continue the dawah after the Shahadah. Right. So when you start thinking about, because and people say, oh yeah, I want to help new Muslims, right? Their understanding is, I'm going to teach them Salah tomorrow. They don't want to learn Salah. Like, do you think it's someone who's super fresh and then you're going to give them to say something in the new language? They will have a lot of resistance to that. So you have to basically,
especially in the West, when Islam is not forced.
Exactly.
You have to convince them,
and there's so much distractions, right? We are overall, like, you know, one of my teachers says that, look, you know what, in Canada life is easy. Compared to US or compared to UK or what have you, overall life is easy. People have some sort of funding, this and that. So, you know, everybody's comfortable, right? There's no pain, and sometimes you need that sort of pain to drive you to take actions as well. So how do you take, so first of all, our approach needs to change. We need to understand what is happening in the new Muslim space, right? And then the first key thing is, bro, like, you know, the person is taking the Shahada, that is intellectual conviction, but you have to build on that dawah, right? So that's very important. That means that, you know, teaching Salah to him may not be the point yet. You may just have to strengthen the dawah, and this was a hard thing for me to realize as well. Right?
Just to try to keep him coming to you, coming to the masjid,
exactly,
for the help.
So anything, right? So now when it comes to that point, right? So I think, again, as you may have noticed, I try to break down things to keep them simple, what have you. So first thing is the da'i who is giving the dawah, because that's the first point, right? First interception that you have. So if I am giving you Shahada and I'm like, yeah, bro, your sins are forgiven and you're going to Jannah, I gotta first of all do my job properly, right? I want to make sure that you understand what has just happened now, right? So I would say, like, for example, the example I like to use, I'm like, okay, look, bro, you know, Niagara Falls here, right? Or any resort, I've given you like a direction that you can now, you have this free pass. If you drive there, you can have this amazing life. But the condition is, not just because you know the direction on your phone and you have a pass to that resort, you actually have to drive there. Right? Now, if you're going to be taking 15 minutes drive and then stopping at Tim Hortons, then at McDonald's, then at D Spot, and then you would never reach your destination. So now, for example, if you realize who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is and how to get to the Jannah, you actually have to put in effort and basically aligning your desires to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. So the da'i himself giving that sort of responsibility on the person who has accepted Islam,
giving the correct dawah in the first place.
This is because that's the first contact, right? And many times you don't know which contact would be your last contact. Right? So you always want to have that sort of balance. And after that, I try to distribute things into three areas, and you have a chat with them. Like, look, now you have done that. Like, these are some of the things that can make it easy for you, right? So I make it into three parts. So number one is you need to motivate yourself to worship Allah. How can you do that? Right? So you have a chat with the person, like, how are you going to have that? How can you motivate yourself? So you need to have either, you know, certain things on your phone that you can read or watch or listen to, because most people won't talk to you about God. Right? So as a non-Muslim, you're becoming Muslim, you're going by your day, you may not even encounter any chat about God, right? And if you're only listening about, let's say, you know, money, that's all you're going to be thinking about, or, you know, power or sports, whatever. So how can you motivate yourself, right? And sometimes it could be this content, sometimes it could be coming to the masjid, coming to a class, having friends that talk about this, whatever. So figuring out a way that would motivate that individual, and everybody will be different, right? At the very least, you and I, let's have a meeting once a week in person. If you can't do it in person, let's get on a video call. And these are stuff I've implemented, and you know, you can see examples on that on my channel. So it's doable, right? And that's something I'm focusing on, because now for it to scale, you need more people to be doing the same thing. So that's motivation. The second thing is the technical stuff. So what do you need to be able to pray? How do you pray, right? So that technical component, I would tailor it depending on the person. Some people are fast, some people are slow. You know, if the person is not ready, you know, and we are having a weekly follow-up or whatever, maybe the technical component would be very less. And then the third thing is, you know, the accountability. Okay, what is your plan? What can you commit to me today? Can you commit to one prayer a day? Now, we're not changing the religion, but we have to be realistic. People don't pray 5 times a day, right? Okay, can you commit to one prayer a day? Or can you come and we'll pray one prayer together? Or even if not, okay, how about can you commit to watching this video channel for like 10 minutes a day, and us having once a week meeting, or you coming to a once a week, whatever. So if you take those 3 components and then you gradually basically increase on that. So that's kind of like how I see it, right? But I mean, it's important because sometimes, bro, I mean, like when I've seen on a street dawah, right? So you would see a person, it's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I became Muslim and I took my Shahadah, right? And the da'i would walk away from him and go and have a chat with other person. Bro, you clearly see this guy's not practicing. He's intellectually convinced. So what's next? Right? I mean, I get it. It's boring from that angle. I mean, there's no, you know, there's no intellectual debate. But if that's the goal, to get everybody close to Allah, what are you going to do about that person? If you're not going to do it, who's going to do it, right? So that's something, you know, to think about. Like, how can we basically start tapping onto it?